competitive world, average won't cut it. The Success Launch Point shows you how to stand out, deliver massive value, and rise above the crowd. With on-demand courses, expert coaching, and a community focused on growth, you'll accelerate your career and your paycheck. It's time to level up. Check out modernobserver.com/launchpoint.
The start of a Gaza peace agreement. Democrats vote again to keep the government shut down. An arrest for the Palisades fire and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. President Trump announced Wednesday that Israel and Hamas had reached the first phase of a ceasefire deal, paving the way for the release of 20 living hostages and a pause in fighting in the Gaza Strip. The deal calls for Israel to partially withdraw from Gaza and for Hamas to begin releasing hostages, according to Trump. The president described the agreement on Truth Social as the first steps towards a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu issued a statement minutes later. With God's help, we will bring them all home, he said, referring to the remaining living captives. Hamas also holds the bodies of 28 dead hostages. Israel and Hamas both subsequently confirmed a deal was reached, with Hamas saying the agreement also calls for humanitarian aid to enter Gaza. The Associated Press reports that Hamas would free the 20 living hostages this weekend, and Israel would also begin its withdrawal. However, more details, including whether Hamas will agree to disarm, likely still need to be worked out for additional phases of the agreement, which could have the potential to completely end the devastating two-year war. Senate Democrats on Wednesday again rejected a proposal to end the government shutdown, which stretched into its 8th day with no hint of progress towards a resolution. In a 54-45 vote, the Senate did not advance a GOP-led stopgap bill that would have funded the government through late November. An alternative funding bill backed by Democrats also failed in a 47-52 vote around 12:50 p.m. Eastern Time. The same three senators from the Democratic caucus who have voted with Republicans on previous votes, John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, Nevada's Catherine Cortez Masto, as well as Angus King of Maine, one of two independents in the caucus, did so again on Wednesday. Federal authorities on Wednesday charged Jonathan Rinderknecht, a 29-year-old Uber driver living in Florida, with maliciously setting the Palisades fire 9 months after the blaze caused 12 deaths and an estimated $150 billion in damages in Los Angeles. Rinderknecht allegedly set a brush fire on January 1st, 2025, near a popular hiking trail, which then smoldered for days before igniting the larger, devastating inferno that destroyed more than 6,000 homes. Evidence against the suspect includes his searching ChatGPT about cigarette-sparked fires, as well as his phone containing videos of the fire and a prior AI-generated image of a dystopian burning city. Rinderknecht, who was arrested in Florida, had no prior criminal history and is being transferred to California to face charges on malicious destruction by means of fire. Meanwhile, victims of the fire have still been unable to rebuild due to California's permitting process. Former FBI Director James Comey pleaded not guilty to charges of lying to Congress and obstruction of justice on Wednesday. The Justice Department indicted Comey, a longtime Trump critic, 2 weeks ago, saying that he misled the Senate Judiciary Committee in 2020. Legal analysts across the political spectrum have criticized the indictment, and Comey's lawyers say they will look to have the charges dismissed. Democrats are standing by Virginia Attorney General nominee Jay Jones after text surfaced in which he fantasized about killing a Republican lawmaker in 2022. No prominent Virginia Democratic lawmaker has yet called for Jones to leave the race, and the candidate has apologized for sending the texts. Federal Reserve officials in September were strongly inclined to lower interest rates, with the only dispute seeming to be over how many cuts were coming, meeting minutes released Wednesday showed. The meeting summary indicated a near unanimous decision among participants at the Federal Open Market Committee that the central bank's key overnight borrowing rate should be cut due to weakness in the labor market. They split, however, on whether there should be 2 or 3 total reductions this year, including the quarter percentage point move approved at the September 16th and 17th meeting. In considering the outlook for monetary policy, almost all participants noted that with the reduction in the target range for the federal funds rate at this meeting, the committee was well positioned to respond in a timely way to potential economic developments, the minutes stated. A European spacecraft orbiting Mars captured rare images of 3I Atlas, a rare comet that originated from somewhere outside our solar system. The European Space Agency's ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter's photos mark a technical milestone and could reveal how interstellar comets differ from those originating closer to Earth. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.